things we can fix, and we're ready to the drawing board and fix them. And stepping forward, we're going to get better.
How about your conditioning? Did you feel like there was any? Was it tough for you to make it through the game, just conditioning-wise, or you feel good in that regard?
Not really. Honestly, Coach Fitz did a great job preparing me, mentally and physically for this game. And the way we practice, we pride ourselves in how we practice and the tempo in which we practice, so I felt ready for it.
How did it feel just to be?
You guys could get just from having 5 guys staying in the same spot, and getting reps there and practicing the game for
it can help with continuity, just building that consistency as offensive line, playing next to the same people. But obviously, different situations come up. We have to do what we have to do to perform to be the best we have to be.
How did it feel just to be back in the field at all after everything had gone through in the off season? Did it make you appreciate things a little more?
Yeah, it was relieving. It was relieving ultimately. Just just finally doing what I love to do. Not worrying about external issues. Just getting out there and playing ball.
Was that going through your head at all? Throughout the game?
Just I was blessed and fortunate to be out there. Period. And just everything I went through to get there.
Was there any time during the offseason where you kind of were worried that you would never be able to play again, or did it ever get to that point where you were thinking your future might be at risk in terms of football future?
Not really worried about it. I was more so focused on my health. Like first and foremost, football can be a second thought when it comes down to living or not. So it wasn't really that much of a concern. If God willed it, if I was still able to play, it was His mission, it was His plan.
Did anything feel differently from you Saturday versus last year, coming off of already the work on stuff this summer?
No, sir, no difference.
Do you think the chemistry of the line, the fact that everybody's just kind of new to this, new to those starting 5, played a factor at all, especially early on?
I would say so. I think everybody was very well prepared by Coach Friend, and all the support staff around him as well. We did our homework, we did our P's and Q's before the game. I think everybody was ready and everybody played well.
Trey, you had a couple of new guys next to you at the Garden, Jameer and Jerome. How do you think they kind of handled their first games on Saturday?
Man, they stepped up and they balled, in my opinion. Jerome, that was his first college snaps, period. So, I sort of anointed him. Because I had that same experience last year. I told him, Rook, just calm down. It's just like practice, And I think they both played their tails off. They worked hard. We were well prepared for that situation. They did a great job.
After the game, Coach Bird said, you've been in camp 8 days. You're 19 years old. And he said, the whole line really is kind of a growing group. Where do you feel like you can progress in the next couple of weeks? What are the kind of things that you can grow into for the next time that you guys play or start SEC play?
I think just becoming more vocal on a consistent standpoint, and then ultimately being more consistent, period. There's a lot of things I need to work on, go back to the drawing board, look at what really, what defines us as offensive line. That's hard work. We just got to come back to work every day, keep on chopping.
Try not to start you want, but how good can this offense be?
Extremely good. We can do what we want to do.
Last year was a tough year. Is there any concern about the confidence level right now of this team?
No. It's a clean slate. We talk about snapping clear all the time. Can't worry about what happened in the past. We can't go back in time to fix that. We can only affect the present.
How tough?
As tough as this kind of offseason was for you, was there ever a time where you kind of started feeling fortunate that it got caught when it did, so it didn't get worse?
Yeah, absolutely. When they first identified it, I was just relieved, to be honest, just knowing that something was wrong. It wasn't just a mental issue or something to those lines.
When did you kind of suspect something was wrong?
The second time that I had issues getting through a certain workout.
And when was that about?
Say it again.
And when was that?
February.
You've talked with us before about just how much you enjoy kind of the aggressive side of football. Watching Tim Jordan, go through his game through stiff arms and things like that. How much do you enjoy that as a lineman?
It fires me up, but it also inspires me to get better. There are a lot of times I need to be more violent. I need to finish more. And seeing Tim, throw that arm, that extra step at the end, man, it fires me up. That tells me that I need to do my job better. They'll fight for a guy like that. Because one guy's not going to tackle Tim. He's going to take at least 2. And that's if you're lucky. He's going to keep on fighting. I need to keep on fighting and do my job to get him free.
Does it remind you a little bit of John in the way that he runs like that? It's hard to compare somebody to somebody else, but he does look a little bit like John Kelly when he runs sometimes.
I think Tim, Ty, they all have their own entities, and the running back group, what I love about them is they fight every time they get that ball, I respect all their games. I love watching them all play. I can't really even pick one out that I just enjoy because I love them all, man. But, one thing you get from the Tennessee running back, you're going to get a tough physical being, man. He's going to bring it at you.
Trey, how much different are the coaches as far as what they're teaching you to do on the offensive line compared to a year ago? Is it a lot different?
It's not really that much different. It's always a line play, just go down, hit that guy. there might be a couple scheme differences, you know, but offensive line plays will stay the same for the most part.
Trey, when a game starts like that for an offense and offensive line, how do you slow it down and kind of just settle in and find a rhythm?
Just keep dropping, just keep snapping clear, just keep it going, play after play. Can't worry about what happened in the past.
You're just a sophomore, and you're the lone guy who made preseason All-SEC from this team. How do you deal with the expectations of kind of having to be one of the leaders, one of the top players in this team at this young an age?
To me, there's no expectation. Just doing my job, you know, just honestly just clocking in every day and just doing my job, and everything else will pay off. Got to focus on the present. Can't worry about what everybody, all these external forces are saying. I just got to focus on blocking that 5 technique, that 4-eye. Every time I step on the field, dominating the man in front of me. That's what's going to give me what I need in life.
What was the most challenging or difficult part for you during the offseason during that process?
Just patience. You know, just realizing God's plan and just letting it reveal itself and work in my life.
Is pass protection a lot more difficult at left tackle as opposed to left guard?
I wouldn't say more difficult. I'm just saying the nuances of it are a lot different. The positions require a lot different things from themselves. You know, you gotta be a lot more patient. A lot of times you get over aggressive at tackle, it can expose you. You know, at times it's not even exposing. It's just the nuances of the differences. You know, just doing something different than playing guard. You just have to be a lot more patient.
But you're usually going to go against the best pass rusher, also left tackle, aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes. You know, in this league, in the SEC, everybody's good. You know, you got to worry about that. So I won't really focus that much on left tackle compared to guard. You know, I'm bringing that same intensity.
Just three more guys. Trey, whether it's you know, on the field or in the huddle, are you seeing that? Did you see that leadership from Garantano in the first game?
Absolutely. I think our quarterbacks in the quarterback room bring it every day. They've been well trained by Coach Houghton. You know, they're always going to do their job, and they're always going to be well prepared to do their job, and that's a standard that they bring every week.
Last question.
What kind of challenge was West Virginia? They had some JUCO guys from some big schools there. How good was that unit that you guys went up against?
You know, credit to those guys. You know, team makes a few mistakes to win. You know, and that showed a little bit this Saturday. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, they won the game, and we had to correct ourselves because you know, at the end of the day, we have to focus on ourselves. We can't focus on anybody else.
All right, thanks, Trey.
Thanks, Trey. Appreciate it.